So I wanted to show you a little fix that I discovered for an issue that we were having with some of the doors on this new storage facility that we just built. Originally, when we got these doors shipped to us, they sent us the wrong height of the track that the door goes into to lead it down, and as a result we had to reorder them and get the correct size. When we did that, the ones that we got when they were installed, the latch wasn't lining up quite right with the hole. When we would push them all the way down as far as we couldn't really slide that latch in. It's like there was a misalignment, and I spent some time trying to figure out how to fix this. The door installers, they didn't really seem to have a very good fix to this, surprisingly, and my general contractor was able to find like a hole punch thing that wasn't the most precise, and it didn't have like the most finished look to it, but it kind of did the job. And I also had seen at some point somebody had taken a Sawzall and tried to like saw the hole bigger so that the latch would line up with it correctly, and that just looked terrible. Not that it's very visible, but it like definitely left some sharp metal behind, which is just not a good thing to have. So I called TracRite just to ask them, like, what's the best way to fix this? Like, there's got to be an easy solution. And they told me about this die grinder that you can get. The one that I got is from Cobalt. You can also get them from DeWalt and other, manufacturers. Basically just has this little metal piece that spins on it and can file down this hole. And it's a pretty easy way to just expand the width or the height of this hole to wherever you need it. And it doesn't leave a bunch of sharp metal behind. You'll end up with a nice finished look to it, and you can get pretty precise with it. The die grinder itself was 80-ish bucks, and the dies were about $40. The face covering that I'm using was about 30 bucks, and the ear coverings, I think those are like 50 bucks or something. Oh, and then also the Cobalt battery, that was probably the most expensive thing. I forget the price of that, but even the batteries, there's all kinds of different sizes you can get, so you don't have to get this one. But I'm just going to show you how this works. It's really easy. I'm not a skilled mechanic or anything like that. In fact, I'd never done this before prior to getting this equipment, but it's super easy, as I'll show you. I got all my gear. I'm ready to go. I got my face covering to make sure I don't get any shards of metal in my eyes. I've got ear protection. This is actually super important. It gets very, very loud when you've got a metal bit like this grinding out metal. So definitely be sure you have your ear protection. This particular grinder has a few different speeds to it. There's 1,000 RPMs up to 25,000 RPMs. So this is the slowest one. I actually kind of like how it's got this light here in case you're working in a dark area. This is 25,000 RPMs. Let's get to work, huh? And you can see it ground up a little bit of that padding on the side. It's not a huge deal. It's not going to mess anything up. The important thing is that we've got a nice finished cut out of the top of that thing. So it's not leaving behind really sharp metal, and it even looks nice. So there we go. Just a few minutes, I got all the doors fixed. One note though, you'll notice here I'm wearing short sleeves and no gloves. I noticed as I was doing this, didn't hurt my hands at all, but I definitely felt some little metal shards ricocheting off my skin. Not the end of the world, I'm not bleeding or anything, but it kind of stung. So if I was a pro and really knew what I was doing, I'd probably have long sleeves on and gloves. I'm going to include links to all of the tools and stuff that I'm using in this video beneath this video if you want to check it out. But these are not the only things that can get the job done. There are other die grinders and other face shields and all this stuff. But if you want to see exactly what I'm using you can find it in the description below. Some of them probably will be affiliate links. I'm not sure which ones, but just know that if you click through that stuff and buy something, I might get something from it, maybe not.
1 week later.
Okay, so one other thing I wanted to mention here is that when you're trying to use a die grinder or anything to make the hole bigger so that the latch fits, it's very possible to overcorrect the issue so that that hole ends up being higher than it's supposed to be, and then the latch ends up latching higher, leaving a gap between the rubber pad at the bottom of the door and the floor. You don't want that either, because if that gap is too big, you can let rain and snow and that kind of stuff into your unit. And so if you ever end up in that situation, I don't know about every door company, but TracRite sells this thing right here. It's an adjustment angle that you can then go in and put this on your door and then make that hole smaller, bringing it down or up or wherever you want it to be. All you have to do is unscrew the tech screw that's already in there, and then put this in there and put that screw right back into this hole. and just position it wherever you want it to be. So that's what this is designed to fix. So if you ever need this, I know TracRite sells these things for a little bit less than 20 bucks a pop. I don't know about other door manufacturers, but I would imagine they probably have a similar thing. Just wanted to mention that as well. But thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best in fixing your door.